So here we're going to use hot air resoldering technique to reflow the solder on a large area on this Audi TT Mk1 instrument cluster. So these units do suffer a lot from bad solder joints, and clearly going through all of these with a soldering iron is not practical. So the way we do this is we strip the cluster down and we remove all of the plastics, things like this that can easily be melted, remove all those, protect the connectors and adjacent areas with foil, and then we use this hot air gun here, which is set to around about 370 degrees. The board has been covered in flux, you can see that lying around the area of the two microprocessors there, and that flux will help the solder reflow. So what this technique does is it melts the existing solder on every single joint in this area and then reflows that joint. So anything that's intermittent will be corrected. So the technique here is to hold the gun in one place for a while, allow the heat to soak into the board, and requires a bit of skill as to not overheat and damage the components, but at the same time reflow the solder. And you can actually see the solder starting to reflow on these pins as they get warmed up, and the meniscus of the solder actually pulls the components into position. So as long as the airflow is not too high to push the components away, they naturally sit where they belong. As you can see, this will resolder literally dozens of connections in a few seconds. And, in fact, is the same as the way the board is manufactured at the factory. So we put these circuit boards on a big conveyor belt and it goes into an infrared oven where they're heated. The whole board is heated to about 280 degrees to allow the solder to flow. And these components, of course, are designed to be soldered in that way. So as long as we apply reasonable caution, this won't damage anything on the board. And we found this to be pretty effective at fixing a number of intermittent problems on these clusters and indeed other electronics modules. So here we have post-repair cluster test using VCDS over there. And the first test through VCDS will sweep the gauges. So you can see they get a maximum and they go back to park, which is 3000 RPM, 90 degrees C, half a tank of fuel and 62 miles per hour. And the next test brings up the warning lights. So you can see they're all on there. There should be 7 altogether, 3 that side, 4 that side. That's good. Go on. Segment test, this lights up everything, so you can see there's any missing segments in the displays here or any missing pixels over here, and it's all good. This one just brings up the backlighting slowly from dark. So that's the VCDS output tests.